The audience buzzed with excitement as Harrison Ford, the legendary actor, walked onto Bill Maher's stage. Everyone expected light banter, Hollywood stories, maybe a political jab or two. But the air shifted quickly when Maher opened the conversation with a sharp, sarcastic remark about Ford's recent climate activism. "So, Harrison, still flying private jets while lecturing us on carbon footprints?" Maher grinned. Ford's jaw tightened slightly, but he smiled coolly. "Bill, if you want to talk hypocrisy, let's start with your show's sponsor list." The crowd chuckled nervously, sensing tension rise. Maher smirked, pushing forward. "Come on, Harrison, we all know Hollywood loves preaching one thing and doing another." Ford leaned forward, his voice calm but firm. "Bill, you like to stir the pot, but you rarely look in the mirror. You profit off cynicism, pretending it's intellectual debate." Maher raised his eyebrows, taken slightly aback. "Oh, so we're doing this?" Ford didn't flinch. "You invited me. I assumed you wanted a real conversation." Maher tried to regain control, tossing out a dismissive laugh. "Relax, Harrison, I'm just poking fun. Don't take yourself so seriously." Ford's eyes narrowed. "I take the planet seriously, Bill. I take responsibility seriously. Maybe you should try it sometime instead of hiding behind jokes." The audience murmured, some applauding softly. Maher shifted in his seat, his usual smirk faltering just a bit. "All right, Captain Planet, tell me, what exactly have you sacrificed?" Ford smiled thinly. "More than just an hour on HBO, I can promise you that." The tension crackled now, the room hanging on every word. Maher leaned forward, voice sharpening. "Look, Harrison, I'm just saying a celebrity's preaching morality feels rich." Ford's gaze stayed steady, "and comedians dismissing every issue with a punchline feels cowardly." A hush fell over the crowd. Maher opened his mouth, then paused, eyes flicking to his producers off stage. Ford continued calmly, "You claim to challenge power, but most of the time, you just mock easy targets." Maher forced a laugh, trying to reset the mood. Okay, maybe we're both a little self-important, huh?" But Ford wasn't backing down. "Bill, people listen to you. They trust your voice. You could push real conversations, but you waste it on cheap shots." Maher's face tightened. "Well, maybe I just don't think actors should lecture anyone on policy." Ford raised an eyebrow. "Maybe I just don't think cynicism is wisdom." A ripple of applause broke through the room, surprising even Maher. Maher's tone turned defensive. "You know, Harrison, this is my show." Ford smiled calmly. "Exactly. Which is why you set the tone. And right now, it's defensive." Maher shot back. "Maybe you should go back to making movies instead of trying to be an activist." Ford's reply was cool, cutting. "Maybe you should decide if you're a comedian or a commentator, because right now, you're failing at both." The audience gasped softly. Maher leaned back, crossing his arms tightly. Behind the scenes, producers exchanged tense glances. Maher's earpiece crackled softly as they debated whether to wrap early. On stage, Maher forced a smile. "Well, Harrison, this has been a broken bar lively." Ford simply nodded, rising from his chair. "Thanks, Bill. Good luck with the next guest." Without waiting for a cue, Ford walked off stage, leaving Maher blinking in surprise. The audience erupted, some in cheers, some in awkward laughter. It was a moment no one had expected. As the cameras cut to commercial, Maher turned sharply to his producers. "Did we just lose Harrison Ford on live TV?" One producer murmured in his ear. "We need to fill the next segment." Maher let out a frustrated sigh, shaking his head. Meanwhile, backstage, Ford calmly grabbed his jacket, ignoring the flurry of assistants trying to smooth things over. "No worries," Ford said softly. "I said what I came to say." Outside, a small crowd had already gathered, buzzing with excitement over what they'd just witnessed. By the next morning, headlines splashed across entertainment sites. "Harrison Ford walks off Bill Maher, fiery clash stuns audience." Ford vs. Maher, who won? Clips flooded social media, racking up millions of views. Some praised Ford's calm strength, others defended Maher's sharp humor. But one thing was clear: the confrontation had struck a nerve far beyond the studio walls. Ford, long respected as a Hollywood legend, had now stepped onto a very different kind of spotlight. As interviews rolled in, Ford kept his comments brief. "I'm not here to win arguments. he told one reporter. "I'm here to remind people what matters." Meanwhile, Maher, ever defiant, brushed off the incident on his next episode, joking, "Well, at least he didn't crash a plane on my set." But the truth was, the encounter had rattled him. Behind the scenes, Maher privately admitted to friends, "Ford came in sharper than I expected." And in living rooms across the country, viewers kept replaying the clash, a rare, unscripted moment where Hollywood charm met late-night cynicism head-on.